My country people them, there are consequences for inciting and sponsoring terrorism. Tapang Ivo, the spokesperson for the ADF, has been ranting and making some statements on Facebook inciting and encouraging violence and terrorism in Cameroon for several months. Finally, he is facing the music. He has been taken to court. I want to discuss the implications of this lawsuit against Tapang Ivo Taanku. So first things first, the lawsuit was filed on Boxing Day, 26th of December 2018 in the Northern District Court in California, case number 5:18-CV-07721, and it was filed by Nsalai Law Firm. The lawsuit says that Tapang Ivo, as the spokesperson for the ADF, was engaging in actions that incite terrorism in Cameroon, and therefore he is in violation of the Anti-Terrorism Act and other laws against the people in the United States, and therefore Tapang Ivo is abetting and aiding the acts of international terrorism. And the lawsuit also goes on to seek to put an injunction against Tapang Ivo to stop him from providing further support to terrorists in Cameroon. Nsalai Law Firm that filed this case in California is also saying that they are going to continue and follow up by filing criminal complaint against Tapang Ivo with the FBI, the state and local authorities, and the U.S. Department for Homeland Security and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The plaintiffs, the people that have brought this lawsuit, are Jane Doe and John Doe, both of which are American citizens whose relatives were killed in Cameroon in May and August of 2018. These plaintiffs have also set up a website which you can access at www.cameroonvictims.org. The actual lawsuit is 66 pages long, including some exhibits. I will attach the whole lawsuit document on my website, www.countrypeople.com, for you to download and read it for yourselves. But before I continue, we're gonna listen.
This war must be exported into La République du Cameroon, or we must tender an apology letter to Mr. Paul Biya. This is Tapang Ivo saying it. Visit the mini-cities. Visit mini-cities in Yaoundé and Douala. Visit them. You know the meaning of visit? This is a strategy. Visit many cities in Yaoundé and Douala. Visit them. Look at how they are being built. I don't need to explain further. Visit many cities and Douala and even hotels in Yaoundé. Visit them. Visit those hotels. Visit many cities. Visit the ministries and take strategies from them. Nonsense. The strategy is very simple. It's easy to visit a mini-city. Simply walk into the mini-city, open the door, get in, that's all. Just get in and do anything you want to do. And you walk out. That is the meaning of visiting. Visit the mini-cities. Visit those hotels. Visit the ministries. How long will you sit and watch your people being slaughtered and piled up like dirt, one after the other? And you are clapping, oh, we are winning. You are not winning.
So you can hear for yourself, that was Tapang Ivo Taanku directing Amber Boys to visit hotels and mini-cities in Yaoundé and Douala and kill innocent civilians to get independence. If you say that your Amber Boys are restoration forces or defense forces, so what does mini-cities and hotels have to do with your restoration or your defense? If you are fighting the so-called occupation forces, then why are you targeting innocent civilians in Yaoundé and Douala in their hotel rooms? Do you not know where the government and the military installations are? Does the military operate from hotel rooms? This is obviously terrorism.
Simple strategy. You will panic Yaoundé and Douala. You will shake Yaoundé and Douala. You will get freedom in 2 weeks.
So obviously this is evidence of Tapang Ivo inciting acts of terror in Cameroon. And this lawsuit is long overdue, it is on solid grounds, and it is merited. So the lawsuit was filed on Boxing Day, the 26th of December, which was a Wednesday. And by Thursday, the next day, 27th of December, the news started to filter through. But before Tapang Ivo knew about the lawsuit, he went on Facebook and he was bragging. This is what he said. He said that as long as we have guns, Whoever goes for dialogue with La République will still come back to meet us shooting non-stop. But just 8 hours later, on that same Thursday, the 27th of December, Tapang Ivo finally got the bad news about the lawsuit. But he was still trying to downplay it, and this is what he wrote on Facebook. He said, "Beware of La République's scare tactics. It is the end of their game. Any legal battle between La République and Ambazonia will be a ticket to independence." Basically, Tapang Ivo wants us to believe that this is just a scare tactic by La République du Cameroon, and that he wants you to believe that the lawsuit is against Ambazonia, even though the lawsuit specifically names Tapang Ivo Tanku as the defendant. But he was trying his best to divert and downplay the whole thing. And at 14:32, on that same 27th of December, he went on Facebook and his tune had changed. Now he said that we have always maintained that we must protect Francophone minorities in Ambazonia. But of course, now, after you have seen the lawsuit accusing you of inciting terrorism, now you want to say that we should protect innocent civilians? Only last month, in November, you were sending your boys to go and visit innocent civilians in their mini-cities and hotels in Yaoundé, eh? See, he begins to sing a different tune. About 2 hours later, at 15:59, Tapang Ivo came back on Facebook and said this: "We have been briefed about a La République lawsuit scare tactic." You see, he is calling it a scare tactic again. But even if it was a scare tactic, it is definitely working. Because Tapang Ivo goes on to say that, game over if La République dares a legal war on any Ambazonian. So let me explain to you what's happening here. These are the signs of a desperate man, a man who knows that he is in deep wahala and he doesn't know what to do about it. He says that we have been briefed. Who is we? The lawsuit is targeting you specifically, you individually, you Tapang Ivo Tanku, but he is saying that we, because he wants this to sound like it is a fight against the whole of the Amazonia movement, so that he can get support from other Amazonia activists to defend him. That is the tactic he's using here. That is why he goes on to say that if La République dares a legal war on any Amazonian, we now understand this critical point. This lawsuit is not by the Cameroon government, and it is not against Ambazonia movement. The lawsuit is filed by Barrister Emmanuel Nsalai and the plaintiffs, who are John Doe and Jane Doe, who are both American citizens.
Take your pass, go into La République and visit Yaoundé, the ministries, the hotels, and the mini-cities.
And just before midnight on that same Thursday, 27th of December 2018, Tapang Ivo said that we will dialogue and negotiate in the presence of the United Nations. So you see, now he is changing his tune. Now he wants to dialogue. But he continues, because by Friday, the 28th of December, Tapang Ivo was in full panic mode. He posted on Facebook saying that, truly, we will go nowhere without unity. I apologize to everyone. Let us keep away our egos, mend fences, and unite. A few minutes later, he said, let us learn to love and tolerate one another without backstabbing and spewing hate. Unity gives hope and victory. And on Saturday, 29th of December 2018, spokesman Tapang said that, give me a chance to preach unity and apology on Facebook Live. Wanna listen?
I come here as Ivo Tapang Tanku to say I apologize if I've hurt your feelings in one way or the other. Maybe my words or my actions may have hurt your feelings. I deeply apologize. I apologize not because someone has told me to apologize, but because I feel as a citizen. Expect me to sin 77 times. Expect me to fault 77 times. Expect me to wrong or to hurt your feelings 77 times. But accept me when I come back to say I am deeply sorry for what I have done, knowingly or unknowingly. I also apologize because I want unity in this revolution. We shall not succeed if we don't have unity. We shall not succeed if we spill out division, hate, and rancor on ground zero. We shall not succeed or move into 2019 on a good footing if we spill out hate, division, and rancor on ground zero.
Wonders. It is really true what they say, that when you grab a man by his cannas, he begins to sing a different tune. Because just a few days ago, this same guy, Tapang Ivo Tanku, was on Facebook making big mouth, running his mouth. And he even went and said that let the IG control Facebook and he and the ADF will control ground zero. On Saturday, 29th of December 2018, Tapang Ivo Tanku's world began to unravel. He put out a statement on Facebook saying that 2 days ago, I, Ivo Tanku Tapang, read with dismay and utter consternation a suit against my person from the offices of Barrister Emmanuel Nsalai in California, United States of America. The lawsuit accused me of aiding and abetting in acts of terrorism that led to the deaths of John Doe and Jane Doe's family members. He went on to say that I, Tapang Ivo Tanku, and the ADF do not promote or endorse violence against civilians. So this letter was 3 pages long, and I will include the whole letter, the full 3 pages at the bottom of this article on my website, www.countrypeople.com. But the letter continued. It said that I also plead with my fellow brother, Barrister Nsalai Emmanuel, to open a peaceful channel for peace talks with me where I could extend my sincere condolences as a stateless citizen to the affected families that this law firm is representing. I hope somehow that this message could reach my senior brother, Nsalai Emmanuel. Let us give peace a chance. He even went on and concluded by providing his email address, his phone number, and calls himself a stateless citizen on exile from La République du Cameroon, his country of birth. And he says that he is a freedom fighter and he is in America as a student under the Fulbright scholarship. Okay, my country people then. So what does this mean? This is a man in full panic mode. He is now calling the barrister and the law firm. Big brother, I beg now, let us resolve this thing peacefully. We need peace talks. Let me tell you something, my country people then. This is very serious. Tapang Ivo Tanku needs a lawyer to represent him in the court. Lawyers are not cheap. And the lawsuit is in California, which means that Tapang has to travel, has to fly across the United States to attend several court hearings, which cost time and money. He hasn't got that kind of time and he hasn't got that kind of money because he is a student. This case can actually cost him his Fulbright scholarship.
Bala. Jalandu kazandandu sukundu yalapukundu sundu. It is a very simple strategy to implement.
You also have to understand that now he is implicated in the federal government for sponsoring terrorism, which means that he will be on the terror watch list and can mean he will not be allowed to work in certain places, certain sensitive offices for the rest of his life. He may never be cleared to take certain loans or credit cards, just to name but a few of the consequences that will follow him personally. And that is why he is online begging and literally preaching for unity with the other factions of the Ambazonia movement, because now Tapang is trying to say that this lawsuit is against Ambazonia. that all the Ambazonia need to come to his defense because he hasn't got the money to hire lawyers to defend him, and he needs a lawyer who is experienced in this specific field of RICO, which is racketeering and corrupt organizations, and also needs a lawyer that is experienced in anti-terrorism legislation. Even if Tapang Ivo wins this lawsuit, he will be left bankrupt and he will most likely lose his Fulbright scholarship, and the implications will live with him for decades. Once your name has been placed in the anti-terror watch list by the FBI, do you have any idea how difficult it is to remove your name from that list? Nelson Mandela was placed on the terror watch list by the FBI, and even after he was released from prison in 1990 and he went on to win the election in 1994 and became the president of South Africa and became a global hero, a global icon, Nelson Mandela still needed special permission from the US State Department just to get a visa to enter the United States to attend United Nations Summit in New York. It was not until July 2008 that Nelson Mandela's name was removed from that terror watch list, and it took an act of Congress to achieve it. If you do not believe me, Google it.
Hachalambo kalazunda lokondo yukundu bila pala sundu kuyundu. This is stupid.
After the Batbo incident on 15th of December, where the ADF went and attacked another Amber camp, killing so many, including the General Tiger or so-called General Biabia, this same Tapang Ivo came online and said that we finally got all of ADF General Ivo's weapons, and I mean all. And he also went and said that babies are crying because the ADF has taken their feeding bottles. He even went as far as to call them goats. But that was 2 weeks ago. Only 2 weeks ago. And now, because of this lawsuit, Tapang Ivo is desperately apologizing and preaching unity. You know why? He is in trouble, big trouble. My country people, them, this is my conclusion, the way I see it. This lawsuit is a big deal, a big victory for us, the peaceful Cameroonians who want nothing to do with Ambazonia madness. Because no matter the outcome, this lawsuit will keep Tapang Ivo busy, which means he will have little time to go on Facebook to incite terrorism in Cameroon. Tapang Ivo will be working hard, begging, trying to raise money for his court cases, and the so-called Ambazonians will be raising money to pay for lawyers instead of buying guns to destabilize our country. So this lawsuit is a big deal for Tapang Ivo Tanku personally. Whether he wins or loses, it will have devastating consequences on him and could destroy his life. So take note, Ayabacho Lucas, Eric Tato, Mark Barretta, Ebenezer Akwanga, John Baakuru, Chris Anu, and even that village clown, Franklin Vela. You are next. My country people then, I can assure you that there are consequences for inciting and sponsoring terrorism in my country.